Hello, it's Rob here from ZFS Racing, and we're here with a race tonight for a tribute race for our friend Nick Sarjant. We're fundraising for Crohn's and Colitis, so thank everyone for joining us for tonight's stream, and I'm joined by the beautiful and delectable Schmergen. How you doing, buddy? All good?
Good evening, mate. How are you doing? I'm very well, thank you.
Not bad. Have you had a jolly good Saturday?
I've had a lovely time, mate. On Saturday from a beautiful sunny Portsmouth, watching the sun start to go down. And obviously we've got the virtual world of being at Big Willow Springs, where we've got a similar sort of evening. Nice, clear, sunny evening. Full of action-packed racing, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, so what we've got tonight is an interesting one, mate. It's an interesting one, and I'm gonna flash it up very quickly so I have a little settings up on page. But we're actually racing at a rarity, which is actually at Willow Springs, which is a first ever for ZFS Racing. The main reason why we are racing here is it was a track that Nick often asked for, and we always collectively ignored him. So we thought it was only appropriate after like, if we were going to do a tribute race, then we should all everyone should go through the pain of trying to race through like Willow Springs for him. You know?
Yeah, I mean, some people love it, and there'll be a few people tonight that really shine, and I actually think there'll be plenty of other people that will have thrills and spills.
This is it.
So yeah, definitely a mixed bag, I think.
So our race tonight is going to be starting at around about 9 PM UK time, so that's in about 13 minutes time. So we've got a few little bits and pieces to get through between now. We've got obviously predictions to go through, and obviously we'll have a little bit more of an in-depth talk through the race settings. But given what we're going to do tonight, what we've done at ZFS is put together a wee little montage for Nick and his family. So we're going to run that for you now, guys, and we'll talk to you in just a moment. And we're back. So yeah, we put that little thing together to. There's a lot of replays and stuff that we've got over the years that he's been racing with us, and unfortunately, I would have liked to give it a bit more justice and maybe spend a couple more hours in it scrubbing through and seeing if there's any genuine more highlights. But I'm sure we'll find time for that over the coming weeks and months and stuff as we start digging through the old archive and stuff.
I mean, there's so many races that we do. It's quite hard to actually go through and highlight and pick out the various bits and bobs. I know from personal experience, he always did a good old job at getting stuck in there and having some good old racing. Mm-hmm. It's not always that easy to scroll through the replays and find those exact moments, but no, there's definitely some good stuff in that compilation.
Nice one. So another thing we are going to do just for tonight, and this is at request of Kim, who was Nick's wife, who she just wanted us to read out a little something from her and the family for sort of the community and stuff. So forgive me, I'm going to try and do this justice. I'm not the most affluent speaker. I don't think that's the right word. That's probably a good word. Good reason why I'm not the best.
But it illustrates your point.
Yeah, it illustrates your point perfectly, but I'll give it a go anyway. So what she wants to say is Nick would be so touched that a race in his honour is happening tonight. Nick loved racing with you all, a livery raking, which we can all agree his liveries were incredible, and to getting to know you all over the years. When he asked to come back to racing occasionally, he was so happy to be welcomed back with open arms. He was able to feel like himself again when he was sitting in his rig. Racing with you all helped him more than you'll ever know, Thank you all for your kind words and generous donations to Crohn's and Colitis UK. Nick's family and I are grateful for you all putting this event together in Nick's memory. Good luck tonight, 54s. Now, in the words of Nick, every single race, let's go racing, boys. And that's
yeah, exactly.
yeah. So lovely words there, and thank you so much for passing them on to us, Kim. And obviously, I know you and the family are watching. Obviously, all of our thoughts and everything goes out to you guys. So, we were just a collection of like morons on like online that I got to go over the years where you guys actually kind of live, eat and breathe them every day, so I can't imagine kind of what it's like for you guys. So I appreciate you guys kind of talking and chatting with us and giving us the courtesy of putting this on for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Big love to everyone from but I just want to speak for everyone from ZFS. Big love to all the family and everything. It's been a big shock to all of us, so at least we get to do something and hopefully put a positive on what's been a difficult time.
Yeah, definitely. So, with that in mind, and I think this is what Nick would have wanted us to do, shall we focus on the racing? I think that's what we need to do.
That sounds good.
I think that's what Nick would have wanted.
We've got a good race lined up. Let's dive into it, mate.
Okay, so let's start off with the race prediction for tonight. So we are 8 minutes away from the start of our race, and I'm going to flash up the race prediction for us now. So we have 11 drivers on track today, and our predicted race winner is predicted to be Shark with in first place. He's our highest rated driver out there. In second place is due to be Amsterdam. In third place would be JJ. Fourth would be Edinburgh Lad. Fifth would be Hudson. Sixth would be Syton. Seventh Farony. Eighth DJ. Ninth Evil Cat. 10th KJN. And 11th KW. So immediately jumps out to me that prediction in first place, that is up for grabs for about 5 drivers there.
Yeah, all of our main scrappers have shown up tonight, and this is a track where it's not that easy to overtake, and that's going to be a tight fight for the win. Anyone could win from the top 6 or 7 names at least that you just said there, if not anyone in the field actually. Yeah. Especially given that we don't race at this track very often, so there could be a couple of wild cards in there. The boys that maybe use this track when they're doing daily races, and they've had a bit more experience than others, and they can really show up tonight.
Yeah. Is there anyone that, I think if you're going to hedge your bets, if you're seeing anyone that was in that bottom 5, so like Frowny, Deej, Evil, KJN or Kieran, any of them you think could be a dark horse for us tonight and sneak their way into those top few spots?
It could be anyone. It could be anyone. I mean, the one that's looking very, very strong, just from what I've seen in practice this afternoon, is Edinburgh Lad. He's currently got the fastest.
He's predicted 4th for tonight, so he's in that top bracket already. But
he increases more and more as we go on. In terms of his pace and the results he brings home. That being said, this is a very difficult track to keep it on, and occasionally he falls foul of a mistake here or there. And I do think this is going to be the sort of race where it doesn't matter if you're in the lead, it doesn't matter if you're fastest. If you make a mistake, it's all over around here, because a lot of the corners around this track, they have these sloping away gravel runoffs that just suck you in and just draw you off the track, and the next thing you know, you've been re-spotted back onto the circuit, 0 miles per hour, and you've got to go back up through the gears, and you've lost a good 10 seconds. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see maybe 3 or 4 drivers do that tonight and the lead change hands quite a bit.
I mean, it's for me, it's a bit of a weird one for me to commentate, because it's like maybe a track I've raced twice at best over the past 4 years, and outside the circuit experiences, it's not a track I've got much experiences. I mean, obviously I know about the pitfalls of it, and kind of like you say, you're not much off, and as soon as you put a foot wrong, then it's gonna really hurt, and so we should see a lot of cars jumping around. Hopefully we should see a nice and neat race, but we're also acutely aware that we've got a lot of drivers probably driving this for the first time as well, so it's really gonna potentially shuffle up the pack, really gonna potentially make make for the best sort of race, because the best sort of races are the ones where you don't know what's going to happen, right? If we can sit here and think that we already tell who's going to be in the top 5 and what order that they're going to come in, then it's not really much fun. There's no point to it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the tracks that we race at a fair bit, you can normally have a fair, educated guess at who's going to end up coming through and being strong, but it's pretty wide open around here. I wouldn't like to call it. I really wouldn't like to call it at all. I wouldn't be putting money on anyone, to be honest with you. No. We shall see.
So, what else have we got? So we're going to have a little flip back to the settings, because we obviously talked more about the track and a few little bits about that. We didn't really go for the settings, what we're doing tonight. So we're doing an evening race here at Willow Springs. It's going to be a 32 lap race, which normally takes us about 40 minutes or so to do the entire race. We're in a Group 4 Subaru WRX, which I believe was one of his favoured cars, so that's why we decided to run that one. We're going to do a good start with false start check. Our time multiplies times 3, so we're not going to really run hugely into the evening. I don't think it's a track that has a nighttime run anyway. We've got quite low tyre wear, with only ×2 on tyre wear, but we've got a quite heavy fuel depletion, so that's interesting there from a tyre point of view. What do you make of that?
It's going to be quite a pacey race. I think, with as I was saying, with the nature of the track where it's very easy to fall off, the fact that the tyre wear is quite low means you can really go for it. So I'm expecting some pretty quick laps and some pretty pacey racing, rather than just chilling and looking after your tyres. You can't really afford to do that. You're going to have to be on the pace. You're going to have to be going for it. But you're going to be right up against the wall of error, the cliff of despair. If you've got to be up against that to be quickest and be at the front. Qualifying, I expect, is going to be very important, because it can be quite difficult to overtake around here, just because the track's so narrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is going to be tense stuff right from the get-go. Qualifying is definitely important.
I'm going to corner you. Who's going to be our winner for tonight?
Well, I've just seen that Tiger's entered the room in his green tint.
Oh, well, there's going to...
Our local superhero.
Although, Tiger, I think I've seen Dan beat Tiger just as much as Tiger's beat Dan. I know out and out pace, you're probably going to back Tiger, but for consistency, I'm going to put on Dan,
Yeah. Definitely want to rule it out. And again, it's back to that thing of, we haven't seen our ZFS boys do this track before.
Yeah.
So this is it's wide open for anyone. We're losing our virginity, basically, as a team around here.
Fly there. I think Edinburgh lad just had a little...
Yeah.
We're going to see a bit of that.
But, I mean, that midfield section, if you go wide from there, you're going to just launch and then respot, and it's a whole thing that goes from, I've gone a little bit wide, to I've lost 7 places.
Yeah. We can flick our views over, so that's good to know. My keyboard shortcuts are working. Last time we had some keyboard shortcuts problems that wouldn't allow us to use the replay feature, so hopefully we don't hit those same problems tonight.
Yeah, that's right, I remember now,
hopefully we don't get them. So we also have a bit of chat on tonight, so let's have a little pop over live chat. We've had Dan, who's on track tonight, saying hello. We have Idol, who's one of our he's unfortunately not able to race so much anymore because of real life getting in the way, just like it does for all of us sometimes. So Idol, really good to see you. Stacey, really nice to see you. Hiya. Chris, hey Chris, Vroom, as we know him as, nice to see you, buddy. Hass, over from ART, thanks for dropping by.
Hello.
Thank you. We've also got Kim. Kim, thank you so much for coming and watching. I'm sure you've got more important things to watch, just a race round in circles for 40 minutes on a Saturday night, but really appreciate you coming in. Webston's, nice to see you, buddy. Another guy from ART, nice to see you, bud. Gareth, I don't know if he's racing tonight. I don't know if he's just here to spectate, but good to see you. Vesa, also Vescu. Is he
watching? I think.
Is he still in the UK?
Yeah, Vescu's still in the UK. He's got the wedding this weekend, so he'll be just. I think he'll be a little bit gutted that he couldn't take part.
I hope you're enjoying the Vescu. I hope you're enjoying the UK. So a friend of ours who's visiting from Finland is over in our old country enjoying that. As looks like the room's being prepared for tonight. So we'll
Vescu brought me over a liqueur, which I've just done a shot of for the better or worse. But cheers, Vescu. I've taken the plunge and done one of those before this. We'll see how that pans out.
So it looks like we've got 10 drivers tonight for the looks of it. Obviously 12 in lobby, but 2 of them are us, and I'm not up for racing.
And of course lobby 2.
And we've had...
I think it was 24 registered when I looked at the full signing up earlier, which, to be fair, for a Saturday on a day like this in the middle of summer, it's not too bad. I think there'll be quite a few people that really fancy the win tonight. They'll want to get the honour of winning this event, since it has obviously quite a lot of meaning and significance to it.
So what else we've got on the chat? We've also got Kieran highlighting that Tiger's joined, so he's obviously done that. Kim agreeing that he did. Nick did love a bit of a big willow. Like I said, one of my main regrets is that we never run it for him. We just ignored him every time he asked for it. Bless him.
Hindsight.
I know, right? And also we've got Amiga saying hello. Nice to hear from everybody. We've got David, who's the brother of Nick, saying hello.
Hi, David.
Good to hear from you, David. Or Dave, as he's put in short. So there we go. And Kim is saying nothing more important tonight. Well, bless you so much for saying so. That's really kind of you.
You do it justice.
Yeah, this is it. don't light effort up is basically the main thing. So we're just getting the room set up now, guys. Looks like we're having a few other joiners as well. So at the moment there's 14 people in the lobby. So we should have 12 drivers tonight in WRXs.
Driver's just joined us, isn't he, at the last minute there? Satan, he's just joined in. So yeah, still a couple of people trickling in. Look at those liveries. It's so great to see everyone running.
Yeah, I was about to mention that actually. Yeah, that
it's brilliant.
A lot of the paint jobs tonight have been created by Nick or have been created in honour of Nick. Unfortunately, Nick did this thing where so on Gran Turismo, for the people who don't know how to play it, you can make your own kind of liveries and stuff, and after you've made them, you've got a choice of either like keeping it private so only you can use it, or you can share it so everyone else can use it. Unfortunately, he didn't really share much of what he made. He kind of kept a lot of what he kept quite private, but he did kind of make a few other things for other people that he did share. So we've had to try and replicate a few of his like classics out there, which I think the guys have done a great job at.
Oh really? I didn't realise that.
Yeah, I had a real hard time trying to find anything he'd made.
Humble chap.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that's what happens quite a bit, right? You just kind of make a livery for yourself rather than giving it the big I am and hey everyone, look what I've done.
Yeah,
you can see there's quite a bit of personal touches going on. I mean, Umbungo.
Yeah, he was quite renowned for that Umbungo one, wasn't he? We knew him quite well for the Umbungo livery. So we have Marty Baffs saying hello. Gareth's confirmed he's not able to race, but he's just here to race a few classes. Cheers for that, Gareth. It's fantastic. Stace wishing Nick a rest in peace, and obviously she's was helping me when we put together the montage video, so thanks for that, Stace. We have Drifter P, who is Nick's cousin, saying hello, so nice to hear from you, Nick.
Hello,
Nick,
mate.
sorry. Nick's cousin, Drifter P. Love to hear from you. So we've got 2 minutes just coming in from Dan. They're just probably doing a few little last minute setups now.
He's always a little bit late.
Yeah.
It kind of lends itself because there's a few stragglers here and there every now and again.
Yeah, this is it. So what we're doing...
Oh, no, we're off.
Oh, we're starting. So qualifying is going to be starting. So we're going to be having a 10-minute qualifying. So the rules here at ZFS is you have to qualify on the tyre that you want to start your race on. So if, tonight the guys can use the hard or the mediums. Sorry, the softs or the mediums, I meant. And let's just go to track. And watch the guys go out there. Let's get our race information up so we can see what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, most people on softs, interestingly. And that's what I mean about that bit about being qualifying, being critical. I think a lot of people want to get themselves up there and out of the way, because scrapping round here is going to be tough.
It's going to be a tough one.
You want to be hopeful of getting a good lap and getting yourself in the top 4 positions, so you can just steer clear of that scrappy mid-pack.
So KGN leading out the outlap at the moment. As guys just come round to just try and warm themselves up a little bit, warm the tyres up a little bit before they go and try and put in a fast lap. So Kev's just coming round. Now, I wish I knew all the names of the turns, but I don't. So, you know, this is a free stream, so you kind of get getting like what you pay for it, you know.
Don't expect too much.
Yeah, don't lower those expectations, guys.
We know what we are.
Yeah. So we're going to jump in with KGN now, and I'll tell you what, we'll use inboard cam that feels a bit more authentic. So let's jump in now with Kez as with Kev as he. I really wish his name was Kez. That would be well good.
Great, David.
Great, David.
There's only 2 people on mediums. Everyone else is on softs.
So, and one of them on mediums is Kev, who's obviously out at the lead at the moment. And he's coming up now to turn 1, sweeping left-hander, quite medium speed turn. Looks like he clipped that nicely. I mean, I'm talking here from kind of talking like I know what I'm talking about, which I don't until when it comes to this track. But Schmergen, you got any experience with these turns that you could talk the guys through?
Not in the sense that I can name the corners or anything, but I know they're all perilous.
Yeah.
They all have. It's a very, very technical track.
This part
each
is
corner.
The tricky bit, you know, like the elevation coming up here. And trying to keep the rear on that. I remember that being a real challenging part of the track, and
it's
and the
such
throttle
a later
control
turn
for this
than
hairpin as well. You know.
Yeah. It's the thing about this track is no corner has a consistent radius to it.
Yeah.
The curbs come and go to you, and on the way out of the corner, say as you head towards the outside of the track, it's not consistent. There's bits that jump in and out at you, and unless you know them, unless you're in that groove, it will catch you out.
Yeah.
Also the curbs are sharp and they're hard, and if you overstep them, it throws you off. But you need to get close to them to be fast around here.
But yeah, so I say,
Really
but in order to get the best out of the lap, you're going to have to push those like track limits. So it's all kind of risk versus like reward, which is kind of true like with every track, but more so here where that margin to the corner is so fine. So KJN setting there a 119.8. Frowny with the fastest lap with a 118.7. You can see 18.6 coming in from Evil Cat, who's currently. Oh no, apologies to Kieran, putting in an 18 flat as well. So you can see our initial times coming through. Let's bounce back, and we can see Dan coming over now. Let's see what time one of the favourites come through is at 18.5. Puts them in P2 for tonight.
Good lap from Kieran.
That is a great lap from Kieran at 18 flat. Really sort of trying to stamp himself out at the start of the race. Has burnt a lot of time. I mean, you know, we're sitting here saying times 2 is not much, but I mean, look at that from 2 laps. And I know Kieran's quite renowned for being a bit of a tyre burner anyway. In his kind of like style of driving, and the fact that he drives on pad and stuff, obviously that has an impact. I know, is he still pad? I don't know.
No, he's on wheel these days.
No, well, he doesn't have an excuse then, as far as I can see.
Scrap that.
Scrap that. Ignore everything I just said. So Evil Catch.
Delete that defence.
Yeah. Evil Catch just let Kieran go, so we'll try and jump on someone who's actually on a house tap. So Crazy Taff, who I don't believe was in tonight's prediction, so he's a bit of a wild card out there. Crazy Taff's an interesting one, isn't he? Because he's one who's potentially he's either going to be in P2 or he's going to be like last. Those are the 2 places where Taff will win.
He's someone that loves his daily races, and this track does get used a fair bit for daily races. If anyone in ZFS has had any experience around this circuit, it will have been from doing the daily races. And I think, let's see how it pans out. At the moment, he's in a comfortable mid-level P7, but I think he might do it.
May have lost you there, Schmurgen, so I'm going to try and...
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's alright. We've got you back now. Yeah, can hear you now. After we lost you for a moment there. There's a little bit of battling going up here, which is something you definitely want to avoid when you're trying to qualify, which is obviously when you're in front position, you kind of understand it because you want to get a good lap in, but I feel like if you've kind of lost it, you're better off just kind of sitting off and waiting and get a good run.
No good's going to come from this lap. You're better off just preparing yourself for the next one. It's a short lap. 1 minute 18. You got plenty of time. We're going to get 8 laps, 7 laps, something like that. Oh, okay. KJ's just let him go, so he'll get a good run now into that last bend and hopefully get a good lap next time.
So we're on board here with Saitama, who's currently our 3rd place with a 118.2. Currently running a little bit over his time, 2 tenths behind, so he's probably going to have to find some kind of magic here to try and call that back to improve his time. So let's jump on with somebody else. Let's go on board with Hudson, who we haven't been on board with. He's just at the back end of the track. Best time so far is 18.7, which is a respectable time on softs, but that puts him about P6. Obviously struggling a little bit with front left tyre wear, and that's going to be having an impact already.
Dan is 81 thousandths off a pole.
Wow. So
that's close at the top, and Edinburgh Lad is 61 thousandths off of that. So the top 3 covered by just over a tenth.
Wow, so this is really tight. So it's really who can break into that 17 barrier, isn't it? Who can then go and perhaps steal pole. But I mean, it's going to be hard, isn't it? I mean, looking at the drivers, how they're getting into there. I mean, they're going to put on some fresh tyres now. They've lost a tiny bit of fuel, but even that's not enough to really make enough difference, you know.
Yeah, I don't think the tyre wear's quite so critical for quality. It's more about just getting that clean lap. The slightest miss of an apex around here really costs you. They're quite long flowing corners, so if you don't get it turned in correctly and get the right line, it just hurts you all the way throughout the corner and all the way out.
Edinburgh Lad's just really hurt himself.
That's what makes the difference.
Oh, the replay system does work. That's fantastic today.
Yay.
So Edinburgh Lad unfortunately had a little slip there, as you can see. Driving up here, just pushed himself a little bit too hard, caught that side there, off he goes, and into the barrier there. So that is what that was what Schmang was talking about. Basically, that's what we need to be avoiding.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of people that have that error tonight. I'm predicting at least, I reckon 6 people will spin off tonight. Yeah, which is a big number normally, because people obviously practice. People have definitely been practicing for this, having seen some of the lap times. Yeah. People have spent time getting into the groove for this one. People want to win this.
Yeah, which is understandable.
But it's just so perilous.
I would, if I was on track. I'd want to win this.
I'm gutted, mate. The only reason why I'm commentating is because my wrist is absolutely ruined at the moment. But yeah, I'd have loved to have taken part in this.
So we're on board at the moment with our pole position leader, Kieran, still holding that. Still haven't, I mean, he put in 18.5 and he's got on a set of freshens now. He's actually running purple, but not by much, only by a whisker. Still able to break that 17. Let's stay on board with him and give him his due respect if he's able to hold this purple lap time and put in something a bit quicker. So I know we've got people who perhaps not so up on the racing at the moment, so when we say we're running purple, that means they're running the fastest lap that anyone has done yet so far. Now, one thing I'm very aware of that I've just seen on the stream is everything's frozen on the stream, so give me a moment. I haven't realised that. Apologies, guys. This is typical, isn't it?
Is that just for you, or is that the output, you think?
Yeah, it's, unfortunately it's the capture card, so apologies, guys. It's not great tech sometimes and stuff.
Okay, I'm talking, mate, if you want, while you're sorting that out.
Apologies, guys. Let me just. Oh, I should put a whole screen. There we go.
So Kieran's put in another fast lap and has extended his lead now by almost 4/10. So I feel like we're on. Got just over a minute to go. And as the desperation starts to creep in of people wanting to punch in that fast lap, I'll be surprised if anyone beats that.
We have our gameplay back. Apologies, guys.
Okay, great.
Apologies. Yeah. Don't know how long that was frozen for. Don't think it was that long, but no, it was about a minute that was frozen. So apologies, guys, for that.
Might keep an eye on that.
We have so Kieran, sorry, apologies. I don't know if you were saying this because I was quite distracted at the time, but obviously Kieran's now putting a 17.7 there, which is a fantastic time.
Yeah, he's extended it. It's a great lap. As I was saying, I think the desperation. I mean, we're under a minute now. This is so most people are on their last lap now already, and it's hard to get that magical lap on the last lap. People could do it, but. And a 4/10 lead around a track this short is quite a margin. Take a Gantry in their foot.
So unfortunately, Sotom's just run out of fuel.
Oh, Dan's just.
Oh no, it says no, it hasn't. It just says it's please refuel. But yeah, I just thought you ran out of fuel, but that's just obviously some sort of visual glitch there. Good old Gran Turismo, eh?
If it's not us messing up, it's a bloody game.
So Shark, interesting enough, he was one of the guys on mediums, obviously struggling with this one. Best so far in 19.6, which is obviously quite a way off the top guys. You'd expect that on a different compound, but maybe not that much of a gap. Maybe about a second diff, you know?
Yeah, I mean, him and KTN are taking up the last two positions there, both on mediums. But you'd normally expect Sharky to put in a faster lap than Kevin. So maybe Sharky's just rocking up and having a stab at it tonight. I mean, he's good at doing that, so that's in his skill set of be alright on the night.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just doing that. He'll definitely want to keep an eye on as the race goes on, because he's clearly playing the long game by starting on those mediums.
So Edinburgh lad just coming over the line for his final qualifying lap. Improved slightly, not enough to take a position. Hudson's finishes qualifying. Saiton is also on his final lap now. As he comes round the final corner, we'll keep an eye on him. Pardon me. And
so it took forward finish, so that's not changing.
Mm-hmm.
Tatum now coming up to the line.
Yep.
He's on a good lap actually.
Is he going to be able to make a climb here? As he does run into
Ooh,
second place.
P2.
What a stealer there at the end.
Good effort.
And we've got Crazy Taff coming around now as well. Currently in P9 with a 119 flat. And he's going to real try and push, and he's pushed himself a little bit too hard and run himself wide, and he's gone into a pit and flung himself into the crowd. So well done, Taff.
Good air.
Yeah, real good air time there. So that brings us to the end of qualifying session anyway, so we'll just give that a moment to ingest into the system. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's the one I used. Yeah, we'll have a little talk through those results and until the race starts. So
great lap by Kieran.
Yeah, I mean
that's a strong qualifying.
I mean, yeah, it's just whether or not he can. I mean, look at the tyre where he's been running in though. I mean, he's obviously having to really push the car in order to get that sort of time out of it. It's whether or not you'd be able to maybe beat him if you can run a decent kind of low 18 but keep the tyres.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like the guys on mediums have got a bit of a mountain to climb. Because the tyre wear isn't that bad. Obviously, you're forced to use the medium, so he's going to switch on to mediums later.
Yeah, he's going to have to, compromise on that at some point.
But it gets darker as the race goes on. So in terms of optimum tyre at the right time, you want to start on mediums.
Absolutely, yeah.
So this qualifying could be a little bit deceiving, where people later on that are running at the front have to use those medium tyres later on the race, and it really doesn't work out that well for them, because it's all about how much of a gap you can build and how clean you can keep it.
Right, so let's have a little look at the result of that. So we can see Kieran there with a 1:17.7 as fastest lap. Saito in second with an 18 flat. Amsterdam just behind him with an 18.1. Edinburgh Lad with an 18.1. Brexit Hudson in 18.2. Evil Cat with an 18.4. DJ with 18.6. Frowny with an 18.7. Let me just go to the next page. Crazy Taff with a 19 flat, KJN with a 19.5, and Sharp with a 19.6. So interesting there. Obviously, all those top 8 there are all within 1 second of each other. So it's a very close qualifying session. So that hopefully should result in what is going to be a very close and a tightly fought race. Is what we're hoping for. Any surprise outcomes there that you're seeing?
Honestly, that the pole was by such a big margin, that's a very good lap by Kieran. If you look how quick it is from second to, let's say, 6th, 4/10 there, and then he's got 4/10 out on his own. That's a really strong lap.
Very strong lap, very strong. So we are going to be starting the race in just a moment when the race host, which I believe is Amsterdam tonight, triggers this. And we'll see what we can do to make sure we follow the action as much as we can. And we got the replay system working tonight, so hopefully that should allow us to track back anything that might happen that we might miss. So Schmergen, if you do me the courtesy, if you see someone spin or if you see something great overtake, just go, I've seen something, and I'll press that little marker button and we can go have a little look see.
Yeah, I'll see what I can find.
Yeah,
I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be brilliant.
Something I'm very acutely aware of, Schmergen, that we haven't done for tonight's stream is this was supposed to be a fundraising stream, and we've not mentioned once the fact that we're supposed to be fundraising.
Now's the time.
So I think now's the time before the race. So we're fundraising tonight for Crohn's and Colitis UK, a charity that Nick was extremely passionate about. Well, I wouldn't be able to, I don't want to put words in his mouth, and don't know if he was specifically passionate about the charity, but he's very passionate about Crohn's and Colitis. It was something that I believe he was diagnosed with from the age of 10, and something he had through his entire life. So, and something that Kim knows is that obviously even if we can do something very small to help sort of drive even something that even looks close to kind of helping people in that way, that even if we can raise a few £100, even that goes a long way. So, we've been doing a bit of a fundraising drive for the past couple of weeks, and a lot of people across the community have been very, very open and generous, and that's not just across the ZFS community, that's across all of Gran Turismo, all of our kind of rivals and all of our friends out there, are coming together to show a bit of support, show a bit of love. So it's all like super appreciated, and obviously that's all that love is kind of reflected of us and should go directed straight to their family, and all that kind of stuff. So, but to the point, if you want to make a donation, please do. The link is in the description.
Rattle, if you can.
Yeah, the link's in the description of this a video. Please click through, and even if it's just a couple of quid, it all adds up into a big pot, and it goes to help people. So you should do that if you haven't. Right, so race time, guys. We're off to race time. So let us go through and have a look at what's going to happen. So I am going to get our little information up so we know what's happening, and we're going to be. I like to start watching with someone who's in like 7th or so you actually get the best view of the action of what's happening in front.
So that midfield's always got some spiciness.
Yeah, so
It's not that easy around there either.
So we're off straight away, and what we'll do, we'll jump on a chase cam if I'm allowed to do chase cam. There we go. As we sit on board with KGN, as we can see up top, there's already been a little bit of movement up top. We're going to actually sit on board with that. We can see Sysom going up the left-hand side of Kieran, and we can see the Edinburgh lad here has got left-hand on the left-hand side of Hudson. Go back a little bit more, you can see as well. We've got quite a nice little pack here. I think eventually we're going to see people settle into their own positions. No massive movements there in terms of people's places. Obviously, Sysom's creeping up into first place with Kieran drop back into second. Hudson dropping into 4th place, and Edinburgh lad in 5th.
Yeah, great start from Satan to pinch that lead round the outside, round turn 1. I mean, turn 2, amazing start from him.
Yeah.
You think about the advantage that Kieran had in qualifying when it comes to cold tyres and getting off the tyre and getting the job done. He's crushed it.
And to be honest, like you said as well, it's going to be a hard track to overtake on as well. So if Sarjant could take advantage of that and put in a bit of consistency, show a bit of tyre advantage, it's a good time to get a move done, isn't it? Let's get it done nice and easy.
Yeah. All these moves early on around a track like this be decisive.
Absolutely. So we're on board
because it's very hard to follow people when you get the dirty air. And this is a track especially where it's very easy to follow someone's line and then realise they're actually not nailing it. They're making a mistake. They're running wide or they're not hitting apex, and next thing you know, you've done the same thing. So you can be quicker than someone, but because you're behind them, it's difficult to catch them and pass them because you've just been drawn into what they're doing.
We're trying to settle into this race a little bit. A lot of movement going on, so we're trying to keep as track of it as we can, but hopefully you'll see the race start to settle a bit into different little packs and groups. We've got a nice little pack of 4 here. You can see on board with Hudson again. It's a bit easier to see the action if we jump on board, so let's do that. We can see on board with Edinburgh Lad here. Little scrap of 4 as he looks around the left hand side of Hudson but doesn't commit to the move. Probably wise choice. It would have been a bit of a tough one to do there. Maybe you can have another go in a bit. He's got Evil Cat about 6 tenths behind him, so he wants to be careful that he doesn't want to lose too much pace trying to battle in front. And that's always the challenge when you're in these packs, isn't it? It's like making that choice of, do you just try and sit in behind and try and develop a gap between yourself and the driver behind you, or do you try and kind of make that move early? And that's always not the easiest choice to make, is it?
No, it's not. I guess it depends on whether you feel like you're out of position or not. If you're frustrated with how your qualifying's gone, you're going to want to try and come through and be where you feel like you should belong. But this is such a track of I've pushed hard because I feel like I could get myself into P2 here, and the next thing you know, you're eating dust.
We're on board at the moment with Frowny, who's currently sitting in 8th position. He's got tendering approximately a half a second gap either side, so sitting quite neatly there. As you can see now, our drivers are settling into their positions, and hopefully it gives us a bit of a clearer sight of what's happening on track, and we can see the overtakes and things happening. I'll give Big Willows a bit of credibility. The cinematic angles it has is actually a bit better than quite a lot of other tracks. DJ having a little slip there as he manages to hold that on just, but he's got Frowny right up his jacksie. There's been waiting to use that one all night.
Yeah, this is a beautiful cinematic track, mate. We've got air balloons and all sorts going on. What's not to love? You watch, this will become a firm ZFS favourite now. Yeah,
that's right. Everyone's going to love it now. So we're just on board now with Frowny. Look at that. Still keeping this, keeping up with DJ and starting to pull away a little bit from Taff, about a second behind with Taff. And we've got the guys on mediums behind them. Let's have a little check on them. They are obviously starting to languish a little bit behind, but this is all going to come round it. Oh, and we have had a little off there, so we'll use our good old replay system and see if we can work out what happened with that one. It looks like DJ had a little issue, so let's have a little jump back and see what he had there. So as he was sweeping round here on the right hand side, he's pushing, and you can see actually he's kicked up a little grass there. A few drivers went wide there, but DJ pushed a little bit too hard. Fortunately didn't lose a huge amount of time, so probably lost himself about 2 or 3 seconds worth of pace there going down there, so probably not ideal, but also not the end of the world as we jump back into the race now with DJ sitting into 8th place. Let's go jump back up to the top of the field.
Yeah, second to 5th, very close.
So you can see here Kieran and Hudson pushing himself a little bit too hard, and now he's given up the opportunity for Edinburgh Lad to come in and has lost himself. 4th position, and Edinburgh Lad's taken that opportunity to jump up. Hudson probably lost a bit of tyre there as well.
Yeah.
Front left is burning a little bit.
Literally 2 corners ago, Edinburgh Lad did a very similar thing on the way into that infield section. So that's how chop and change and dicey it is. You can go from making a mistake to gaining position just a couple of corners later.
And unfortunately, Kieran has had it off. He's lost it, and we can jump back and have a look and see what happened there, unfortunately. And that's a painful one. And he's trying to get himself back on, but it is hard to get back on, and he's unfortunately just blocked someone going into pits as well, which absolutely was not intentional. You had no idea someone going in there. But let's jump back and see if we can see what happened there, unfortunately for Kieran, as he comes around here on lap 4, final corner. And we've noticed a few would do this, they're trying to get the fast part of the track by staying on the outside, but if you just go too fast, you can have a really nasty one there. And yeah,
the last corner tightens up on itself. So if you get the wrong line on the way into that, it just doubles on the way out. It's already a tricky exit. You already have to watch that. As you say, if you're not careful, you'll run wide and end up in the pits. It's very perilous. And next thing you know, we've got our pole sitter right at the back. It's all gone wrong.
Yeah. He's going to be spitting feathers, I know he will. Yeah. That one, but you know, still to his credit to show that kind of time. You know.
Watch for more of that. There'll be others that do that.
Yeah, this is maybe it. Right?
As I'm watching it, I'm thinking, do you know what? I'm kind of glad I'm not in this because this is a tense race.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's have a little look through the pack and see how we're going. So we'll jump in 5th place. Evil Cat now looking like he's pushing up on Hudson. I think Hudson, what weakness Hudson's got here is his tyre wear. If you look at Hudson's tyre wear and compare it to everyone around him, he is burning through those tyres.
Yeah, so really he's a controller driver. So that's the true mark of where the controller drivers are. Yeah, his front left is what, twice as worn as anyone else. It's really bad.
Yeah, it's a real tough one.
Maybe DJ down in 7th has got slightly bad tyre wear as well. Taf's doing alright considering he's controller in 8th.
Absolutely. I mean, let's have a look at Tafs and look at that as a comparative. Yeah, I mean, definitely compared to Hudson, running a bit better, but you know, you can definitely see the difference, can't you, between these pad drivers and the wheel drivers, which it's not always true. I think it's often the crux that is fallen back on. I've known pad drivers that can be very protective of tyres, but I think it's also very dependent on the race as well, on what sort of race.
Depends on the car quite a lot as well.
Yeah.
There's a huge amount of variables.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Sometimes it really lends itself to them wet races. To name an example, Kenobi doing very, very well in wet races where you can just catch those slides and things, and you can really. He brought home a lovely podium where we did our team event earlier in the year. So it's not always bad, but something like this, it's something right.
So Edinburgh lad looking like he's pulled up a little gap there in Amsterdam. Looking like he takes a slightly different line through that last corner than what Dan does, isn't it? Than what I saw that earlier with another driver. So he's looking like he's found a little bit more of a favourable line. I don't know if it gets him a better exit or not, but it certainly does climb up enough light temps that it's worth him doing. And there's a little advantage he's got there.
Tyre wear so even between those front three, almost identical tyre wear.
Yeah, so they're really managing that well. Sighton as well. I mean, I feel comfortable, but I'd be sweating still with our Sighton here because you know he's certainly not, you know, Dan's no fool, is he? At the end of the
Sorry, I was on board with Dan and he stoned his stacked with Ben. Wow, I don't know how he held that. It's a great effort.
Did clip that, so we're gonna have a little look back, but we'll keep on board just for now until 1 second Brad is making this attack. We're not seeing anything yet. Let's have a little jump back and see if we can see what's going on there. Oh, I just missed it actually. Pressed it a little bit. Yeah, we saw the end of it there where he had a little kick, didn't he? He held that very well.
The problem is, as you come down the hill, it undulates and changes. It's just it's a horrible place to have the back end step out.
So Evil Cat's making a few moves here as well. Is I've noticed Frowney brought up the gap between him and Hudson. Now it's Evil Cat's the one who's making his attack as well. So we've got a nice little pack of 3 here as Hudson runs a tiny bit wide there and loses a little bit of speed, which gives Frowney the chance for a run on the outside. So let's see how this goes. And it looks like he's going to be able to get this done, hopefully, if he can just get to the turn, and he's done that neatly. Lovely overtake there.
Good move.
Those are the best
Great
ones.
stuff around the outside.
Yeah, I like the ones where you can get them done before you get to the apex. You know, you know where you got the right to make the turn, and you can still get a neat apexing and a neat exit. You know.
Hudson's really struggling now. That front left is gone. Look at the gap. Frowney's just pulled from it easily. Yeah. So he's really struggling.
Well, you can see Hudson.
I wouldn't be surprised if
there's
a couple more positions.
Yeah, he's going to have to go in now, isn't he? I mean, surely. This is it for him. He's losing pace.
It depends
oh, Dan has just gone. Dan has just gone. Oh no, let's have it. And Edinburgh had almost lost himself in too much excitement from seeing him go off. So let me have a little skip back and let's all have a little heartbreak moment for our friend Daniel, who it's tough, man, when you're running these tyres this fine down to the line. This is the risk you take, isn't it, by trying to push too hard, defend too hard.
Yeah, we're going to see much more of this as the tyres start to wear, and obviously not just this stint, but every stint in this race. towards the end is when you're going to see people making much more mistakes. So yeah, around now, I mean, this lap, there'll probably be 2 or 3 people that have a little this lap.
Yeah, definitely.
Because those tyres are going to be hard. And especially where it's the left front that goes. There's so many long left-hand corners, and the car just wants to go on.
I'm going to jump back with KJN. He's got about a 2-second gap between him and Kieran in front, and about a 7-second gap between himself and Taff behind. So unfortunately, we must have lost a moment with Taff. Taff must have had or unless he had an earlier pit or something. KJN's out on mediums at the moment. So
yeah, how are the mediums looking?
Yeah, I mean they're getting there. I think he's got another few more laps in them. So it'll be interesting to see how obviously KJN and Sharky factor into this equation once everyone else has gone through their medium runs as well. You know.
Sharky's still last. Is he not?
Oh,
no, he's
Dan
fitted.
is
He's
off again.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's unfortunately found himself on the incorrect part of the track, which is basically not on it.
The lighter bit.
Yeah. The sandy bit of the track. So he's gone through this chicane here. Well, and pushed himself towards this corner. Just seems to be trying to push himself a little too hard. I think a few cars are struggling with that corner. Yeah. And I think as well with the front left being completely dead now, you know, you're getting so much understeer on any right-hand turn.
It looks particularly difficult with used tyres, I have to say.
So the driver's going in now. DJ is our 3rd place position, but obviously that's due to pits. Hudson in 2nd and Evil Cat in 1st. Evil Cat's probably doing the best on tyres out of these drivers out at the minute. If he can hold it for the end of this lap. So it look like we're going for 10 laps of soft, 12 laps on mediums, 10 laps on softs, and maybe hoping the track gets a bit cooler at the end of the race to extend those softs out, so maybe you can get away with 11 on mediums at the end, you know, so like a 10, 11, 11 or something.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Sharky ditch those mediums so soon. Maybe, I mean, he's pretty good for figuring out how things feel and where the pace is. So maybe that's an indicator that, that's the right thing to do. Get the medium stint done, get that mandatory tyre used, and then start pressing on with the softs.
Moving on here on Sighton, the track leader who's now come out on medium, so we've got a match here. Now, interestingly enough, and this is an interesting one, we've got Taff sat right in front of them. And Taff, this is by no means a criticism of Taff, but Taff is one of the most awkward drivers to overtake that I've ever come across. You know, and that's not him calling out for dirty. He overall does it perfectly fine.
It's in his skill set.
It's in his skill set. It's I had him in my team earlier this year, and that's exactly what I asked him to do. Is like go and be awkward, please. You know.
Yeah, he's a scrapper.
He's a scrapper, and he doesn't make it easier to get past.
No, I've binned it a number of times trying to get past Taff.
Yeah. So it's
no fault of his, just me really frustrated that I'm dealing with someone that isn't easy to get past.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't give up. He doesn't let you go.
Yeah.
You have to earn it.
Yeah, he'll fight you every inch of every corner until you pass him, and even then he'll keep having a little nips at you, you know.
Yeah.
So running order at the minute is Kev in 1st, Frowny in 2nd, and Taff in 3rd. Clark, who Shark, who is in 4th, obviously running on the mediums. Oh, a little bit of contact there between Satan and Shark, but that fortunately didn't result in anything. We've also got Edinburgh Lad breathing down the neck of Satan as well. So this is a race here for the track lead, and Edinburgh Lad really made some gains there in the pit. That might have been due to fuel saving that he might have done. In the sense of, you know, that they both went to pits with a bit of a gap between them. Edinburgh Lad managed to use less fuel than Sighton, so therefore he spent a little bit less time on the pit. So when they come out, there's a little bit of time difference brought up. That may be what happened, unfortunately. So I'm just trying to guess if I didn't actually see it. And obviously with Dan is still in this. It's all right,
I'm back now. Again, the refueling's on times 10, so it shouldn't make that much of a difference.
No, it shouldn't.
I mean, you wouldn't want to be round short shifting and.
It might just be the fact that Sighton's caught in traffic. Then the reason why the gap's been brought back. And this has made the race very interesting now, because we've obviously got Taff in the situation now. We've got Clark, who's on the medium tyres as well, but he's obviously a lap behind everyone else. So you've got 2 drivers here, a lap behind the 3 track leaders here, and they're all. This is fantastic racing here to watch how this is going to pan out.
Yeah. proper 4-way scrap. We've got 5-way scrap. Oh my
Five-way scrap,
God.
honestly. And it's Dan's having a little
Free
sniff.
abreast.
There's some free abreast out there, and they kept that just. Well done, drivers.
Brilliant racing. Well done, everyone.
Edinburgh Lad, Taff, unfortunately coming together there. Amsterdam avoiding a very fatal collision there with Taff. Very good reactions there from Dan.
How did they go 3 abreast around that corner? I've never seen that before without someone going off.
Driving.
Brilliant.
Well done, guys. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Sarjant here must be scratching his head wondering what the hell is going on here with his... I wouldn't, like I said, it wasn't a comfy track lead, but he kept it consistent. He maintained that gap, and the race conditions play out. And next thing you know, you're behind 2 lap drivers. Oh, and Sarjant there making a massive mistake. We actually saw that live as he just pushes a little bit too hard, and that's a real painful one. No. He's going to lose a lot of time there, and
yeah, that's potentially costing the winner.
Yeah, that's cost him a lot of time. That's got to really hurt that one. That's a shame because we were watching. I mean, obviously we've still got a scrap of 4 here, which is still fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Sharky had a similar one, but he was able to put it on in front of everyone as you were watching the Sarjant issue, and he's managed to sort of put it in the middle and keep everyone behind him. But they're now right on his heels.
So Taff's, like we said, Taff will not give this up, and we were not wrong. He's sitting there and he's gonna keep going. We've got Edinburgh Lad as well, pushing really, really hard.
Oh, I ran it. Everyone's really going for it.
Yes.
That's such a death corner. If you run wide on the way into that one, there's a bank, and it literally just launches you into the air, like you're bloody Eva Knievel or something. It will just dispatch you. So they're really going for it around there. That takes balls.
It really does. It really does. It's brilliant to watch as well. Brilliant to watch. So we're on board now with Dan. In fact, I'm not going to use on board. It's very loud. I'm going to sit on the hood. We're on the hood now with Dan. As he keeps scrapping around here, we have a little bit. I have been very focused on what's going on here, but what I can see from the track map, apart from behind us, Hudson and Evil Cat about a second behind each other, but most people are in relative big gaps at the moment. Apart from this little pack of 4 that we've got going on. Let's go to cinematic as Dan's going now around the outside of Taff, looking to make that move, and it looks like he's going to get that done as Taff nips back on into a slip to see if he can maybe climb something back. Edinburgh Lad and Shark still not giving up the scrap 4. What would this be? Well, I suppose it's a scrap for third, but really it's a scrap for the race lead, isn't it?
Sharky's on pretty dead soft, so he's basically going to increasingly hold them up. I mean, over the next lap, maybe even before the end of this lap, those softs are going to die. There you go. The front left has just gone. So now he's in real trouble. This is a real slog to keep these boys behind him, but it could be worthwhile. Later on, it could really play out that this is the thing that makes the difference. Keep it on. He's gone already.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's out of that. I'm just trying to drop back so I can see some of value here. Of value.
I'll just talk about the front for a minute. So Frowney's obviously stood in the lead now on softs. I think Frowney and KJN have... No, KJN started on mediums, didn't he? So that's worked out well for him. He started on those mediums, switched to softs. Next thing you know, he's found himself... Oh no, he's still on mediums. Sorry, I'm talking absolute dribble.
So
he's still on his first stint.
He's still on his first stint. That's, he's got a pit to go, but... He'll still be going when a lot of these drivers are going to be going in themselves, Taff's also on his first stint as well, from what I believe.
Frowney finally pits from the league.
No, Taff isn't on his first stint. Did Taff have an off and swapped to media?
That's right, yeah, he did.
He must have pitted, so looks like Shark is going in, and Taff is here going to make a move on Dan. Looks like Taff's only got enough fuel for another lap.
It's hard to know who actually is the legitimate leader of this.
I think. Oh no, Dan's just gone off as well. He's had a few. Obviously, like we said at the start of this race, a lot of these drivers do not race this track.
Taff's giving that back to him.
Yeah.
There was contact, and I think maybe Taff felt slightly responsible there, or at least was unsure enough to give it back. So that's good to see.
Yeah, good sportsmanship, guys. Yeah, it's hard to know who the track lead is. Like you say, I think I'm going to have to call it out for. Potentially you will get him, is it? Or is he still on his first?
I don't know, maybe. Sorry, Edinburgh Lad, I think, might be.
Oh yeah, of course he is. Yeah, he was the one who was scrapping the site, really. So he will get, and KGN and looking like
he's navigated himself through that 5-way scrap really well, and has ended up the actual technical leader once KGN obviously pits. I'm presuming he's going to pit this lap because that front left is done now.
Well, I think the scrap.
The more he stays out, the more that's going to hurt.
Yeah, this is really, I don't know, it's an interesting race. I mean, we're about halfway through now, halfway through the race. Most drivers have done their first pit, but it looks like, obviously, if people are going in for their first pit now, they're going for a one-stop, right? Or
I'm guessing so, if they go medium.
Yeah. And we have no idea. I mean, again, I've got no frame of reference here. I don't know if Willow is a long pit or a short pit. You know, is it a quick in and out?
I don't know, mate. I've only done it in sprint races, so I've not really had that experience, to be honest with you. I've been doing 5-lap daily races on in a sprint setting, so it's not one I'd really like to do as an endurance race because you've got to be so precise with it.
Yeah.
But the amount of mistakes we're seeing people make, it's quite it's a harsh reflection on
what's happening.
their driving. This is really tough race. This is such a hard track to get right every lap, and bear in mind those little changes in the line. If you look at the white lines in the track and how they move in and out as you go around, they're all over the show. You have to learn them and bear them in mind. There. And there's a little bit of a going on there.
Yeah.
And particularly as the tyres wear, you have to brake earlier, and you have to be a bit more patient with the throttle, whilst all the time bearing in mind just how much those white lines deviate in and out.
So Evil Cat now with that little kiss at Edinburgh lad Kev. He's obviously had to sit off a little bit, and that's given Evil Cat afforded him the chance to come out. And we know, like I was saying about this line that Edinburgh lad's running through that corner, he gets a lot better on braking, but he doesn't really get a great exit, as you can see here.
That's hurt him, that has. He would have been hoping that KJM would have picked the previous lap.
Yeah.
I mean, look, now, there you go, what's the lead?
Oh, he's holding it. He's holding it. He's well held there from Edinburgh lad. Good defending, you know, just to hold that line and keep pushing through. But this is now our race for top. Edinburgh lad, I'm not completely sure. Yeah.
He was quickest in practice earlier, so.
Oh no, he's run himself a little there. Is he going to hold it? Oh my word!
Wow. Oh, my heart was in my mouth then.
I know, he held it though. Fair play to him. I mean, and obviously he might have lost.
Great recovery.
Might have lost the position, and he obviously now getting attacked by Dan as well.
4-way scrap for the lead.
And Dan's definitely not going to. I mean, Dan's had a few little offs, and the fact he's still in this, you know, he's had a few serious little.
Never ruled that out. Ever.
Little moments, but he's really got his head down and really kept himself in this.
He'll just get stronger and stronger this race. He's such a great driver for settling into a rhythm.
Where the hell has Hudson come from? We didn't talk about him as a, you know, like obviously we saw him burn those tyres in the first stint, and I kind of ruled him out, but now he's in a similar situation to all these guys. I don't know whether it's all the scrapping and stuff that's gone on. Edinburgh lad going off there. And he's jumping into the pit, is he?
Yeah. So, I mean, only partially worn mediums, so I guess he, like Sharky's, realising that, you know what, these aren't that great. I just want to be on softs as much as possible.
Dan there catching a little bit of the sand.
But yeah, going back to Hudson, I guess it's just, we've spoken about a number of people going off along the way, and he's just kept his nose clean. And even though, look, all three guys went wide then.
Wow. I was jumping back there, and I was having a look at Kieran and
honestly, the top three
Shark.
all went wide on that corner. It was mad.
Yeah, this scrap for top. I mean, Hudson's come out of nowhere in this equation, and like, you know what, we've got Deej a few seconds behind, and don't rule him out as well. Like, Deej is keeping an eye on his back, and if these guys keep driving this way, you know, and they're going to keep scrapping at each other and making moves at each other, it's gonna all like bunch up again, and
these three will be focusing on each other, and they won't be thinking about DJ in fourth.
No.
And he might be the little wolf just waiting around the corner.
Yeah. Well, it's because there's similar on sort of tyre wear and fuel and stuff. Like, there's no discernible kind of disadvantage. I mean, he would have been seeing this gap kind of grinding down over the past, you know, few laps, and if I was him, I'd be like licking my lips. You know, I'd want to be getting involved in that.
Yeah, you three boys scrap, because invariably, over the next couple of laps, I wouldn't mind placing a bet that at least one of these guys has an issue.
Yeah.
To be fighting that hard on worn mediums.
Well, the other issue with DJ's got Frowny now, trying to make attacks on him as well. So if these two get involved in a scrap, then they might miss out the opportunity trying to pull up from this pack. So.
Oh, Frowny's caught him. Frowny's making a move.
Yeah, Frowny's going up on that inside. And he's made that move, and he's made it stick. Now, what Frowny's got is Frowny's got a lot more tyres, but a lot less fuel than anyone else. Which is
so I'm guessing is that tactical? Is he planning on just doing a couple of laps on mediums?
Yeah.
Or has he made an error there?
No, I mean, the fact is, I mean, you know, he's no different from what Dan is. I mean, maybe it's the one, DJ's the one that's got more fuel, maybe that's the way to be.
Yeah, too much. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, I mean, is Deej going for the...
We just don't know, do we? It's
No.
all over the show.
No,
There's no real way of knowing how this is...
Grand Turismo would be really helpful if you provided us more tools to understand what the hell's happened in the past half an hour, you know? Now, we have someone parked up. I don't know who that is, but it's someone towards the back. Let me just try and identify who that was. Edinburgh Lad. Did we have Edinburgh Lad have an off? And let me just jump back and look at that on replay and see what we can identify.
I mean, I saw him lose out to the lead pack.
Yeah, he had a
since
pretty major spin. I'm just watching it now on replay. Big damage. Well, actually not that big damage, but he pretty much flung himself up into the fence. He probably, I'd say, in overall about 10 seconds or so loss with a little bit of damage on his front bumper, so it's definitely going to have an impact on the outcome of the race because he was looking real good there, you know?
Yeah. So Sharky's starting to look quite slow and steady. He's 40 seconds off the lead, but he's only got softs to use now for the rest of the race. So
he's going to be gunning it.
I mean, the boys in front of him are due a pit stop in the next 3 or 4. And then he's going to start looking pretty good, I think. So my little hot tip is for Sharky to potentially be in P3, P4 by the end of this.
These top 3 have started to spread out. If arguably, I'd say Dan maybe will start trying to grind in Evil Cat here, but Evil Cat's got the tyre advantage and the fuel advantage here. So Evil Cat's looking very good for this. I mean, I know obviously Dan's going to jump in and probably put himself on a set of softs and finish it out, but massive tyre advantage.
Though, isn't he?
You know. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But Evil Cat's looking really strong for this race. So, you know, if I was, in his shoes, and obviously he won't know this, but obviously you've got that. If you've got that tool, Dan again. Oh, so close. Really pushing it to the wire.
He's done that about 7 times.
I know. Really pushing his car to the wire, isn't he?
Yeah, he's quite good at holding it when he has a moment. He doesn't panic and jerk the wheel. He makes the correction that needs to be made, and it means he can get away with it. Me, all over. I've gone off, bloody bollocks, and next thing I'm in the wall from an overcorrection.
Then, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I've chosen death.
Unfortunately, Kieran seems like he's unfortunately just not had a good time. He looked so strong at the start of this race, and now he finds himself last place, 8 seconds behind. I mean, that's with a recent pit as well, so that's maybe not a true reflection of where he's at when this all pans out, but yeah, a bit unfortunate for him, especially how strong he looked in qualifying.
Yeah, it's what was going to happen in this race, unfortunately. Plenty of heroes to zeros, and I feel like this is one of those races where actually slightly slower and more methodical and steady is what will get you the win, which is Dan territory. So it'd be interesting to see if Evil Cat can hold out from Dan in this race.
So we do now have a little scrap for P9. Edinburgh Lad obviously hoping to win this one, but now having to sort of take what he can get. Taff on himself a little track penalty, and Edinburgh Lad running a bit of damage, so it'll be interesting to see if he can perhaps make a bit of gains and get himself another overtaking, get himself up into P9 for this race.
Dan's going to have to pit this lap, can't I feel? As is Hudson, I expect. And his tyre's gone as well.
He's like,
he's kept up well though, considering that right left's gone.
Well, Evil Cat's going to probably have to go in the next lap or 2, but he's going to, I mean, it depends how long those like softs run for at the end, you know, like, because it looked like at the start a lot of people were pitting like lap 10 or so, weren't they? And they were pretty much on that 10th lap, their tyres are dead, but the track's a bit cooler now. So, you know, Dan's done well here. If he's going to go in there, he's going to probably have a relative like safe margin. Maybe again a little bit of a touch and go last lap. Evil Cat's got the option here to run another lap on mediums and not have that touch and go lap if he doesn't really want to, which it doesn't look like he's going to. You know.
Yeah, the track doesn't get fully dark. I was watching the practice.
We've got 2 cars off there. I mean, I can see it on the track map. I don't know who they are. I'm just going to clip that and see if we can have a little look back. Oh, a little bit of collision there going into pits, so that is absolute bedlam. So let's clip back and have a look back and see what happened there.
That looked like 4 people jumping into the pits at once. Though.
Yeah. But we had 2 cars come off the track at the same time. I'm trying to identify who they were. We've got this car here, which is unnamed. Is it F12 to show me the details of the car? There needs to be a button. I should really get the shortcuts up. But yeah, there's some real unfortunate offs there. And Saito as well coming flying into him there. So it was DJ and I think it was Hudson as well who came off there. That's really unfortunate. That sounded
Chuck up to P2 now after those boys
very insincere when I said that.
Funny, half the course.
Yeah.
Cold RV.
So.
Oh dear, someone's had a bad race.
Womp womp. So KGN's an interesting one here. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be able to hold off Dan, but I believe he's the one on the one stop. So, you know, holding off Dan not lightly, might lose out to Frowny and Sightum, but beyond that, I think he might be looking okay to retain a decent position. The Evil Cat's in now, so he's going to be doing a 9-lap stint on the softs at the end. So he's going to have a little tyre advantage over the guys in front of him, and he had the fuel advantage as well, which again
Sharky bits as well.
Shark's going in as well. So
I was just watching those front two, and Evil Cat, they were both on worn tyres, but it looked like Evil Cat was matching Sharky on softs, even though Evil Cat was on mediums. So, to be fair to Evil Cat, I think this is a legitimate lead that he's got. And yeah, sure enough, he rejoined still in the lead.
So Dan's got issues one
and
now.
On
so
softs.
He's got like a 1.5 gap between himself and Evil Cat, but at the moment he's got a KGN on mediums who's potentially fuel saving, you know. So he's going to have to get this move done without losing too much time.
How great those liveries look! It's awesome. Yeah. I've never seen so much Umbongo go.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's not seen this much Umbongo since like '94, mate. You know.
Yeah. I'm starting to set now.
Yeah.
Oh, the moon's up as well.
Look at that. Hot air balloons are still going. Beautiful stuff. So no one really that close to each other. I mean, obviously this little one here we've got between Dan and Kevin's the closest thing that's happening on the track. I expect this overtake to happen at some point. It's just probably a case from Dan's point of view of trying to get the timing right. He's not yet lost any time to Sightum yet, although he's lost a little attempts there, but he might just be getting a better exit. No, he's lost a couple of attempts to him.
I would have thought that Dan would probably just sit up behind KGN now and just try to pressure him into a mistake.
I said Sightum, but I meant Evil Cat.
Yeah.
So Evil Cat, we've had another off there. I can see someone off track on the final corner. Again, I'll just clip that up and that's Hudson again, unfortunately. And that was big damage as well, so let's go and watch his pain.
Okay.
So he again comes sweeping around the final corner, sits on the inside, full throttle down. He's got full tyres, maybe they're a bit cold, and he just goes right there on the outside and collides him straight into the barrier. Big damage all over, and that's straight into the
fight for B2.
Yeah. Fight for
Dan,
B2.
Dan and KGN fighting for B2.
Thank you. So Dan
That's
has
what
made that
replay.
move. Yeah, I'll give that a little watch. So on board with Dan, yeah?
Yeah.
So we've got on board with Dan as he sits on the outside of KGN, going round towards what is the tightest hairpin on the track. Now finds himself on the inside, holds that line as Kev tries his best to hold it as well. Kev run himself a little bit wide, but Dan obviously holding his nerves there, and ultimately don't think he's losing too much time. But Sightum is Evil Cat has definitely got a bit of a gap on him now. So let's drop ourselves back and have a look.
Are we keeping an eye on these times now between Dan and Evil Cat?
Yeah, I mean it was a second and a half when he was sitting behind KGN. So you know, Evil Cat's got the tyre advantage. He's got the gap. I mean, he's just got to keep his composure.
I wonder if those softs can actually last until the end of the race. Dan's got better tyres.
It's not like Evil Cat's doing crap times. I mean, like last one, it says it was an 18.2. So it's not like if he can keep in those low 18s, Dan's going to find it hard to grind back 2 seconds in 6 laps. You know?
Yeah, he's chucking the PBs. Great racing. It's fair play to Evil Cat. He's leading this race. This is the guy that we don't see win all that often. He's a strong driver. Don't get me wrong. He's a good driver. But to be out leading a prestigious event like this, around a real pressure track like this, where the slightest misjudgment, it's all over. We saw what happened to Kieran earlier, dead and gone. So it's going to be tough for him. But so far, he's knocking out some brilliant lap times.
So we do have a little 2 cars close together in 6th place, Sharky and DJ. DJ on softs, likewise the Shark. So we'll have to see if that one develops. Like I said, 2 very, very good drivers there, and 2 that I wouldn't have been surprised if they found themselves at the top, but just hasn't really come together for them in this race.
So he holds a 2.5 second lead. could come down to tyre wear.
I think KJN's looking relatively solid to hold on to 5th. I think he'll struggle with. Look at the front left medium. He's going to be struggling with that on the last few laps. He's going to lose the time to sight, so he's going to get past. Whether or not whether he's going to lose 8 seconds to Shark in full. Now there's a big off there. I've seen in front of me. It was Dan.
Yeah.
Dan has a massive off. Dude, it's a shame because
he's fully spun.
Yeah, and it's carried on. That's a nasty one. Bless him.
Facing that win.
Yeah, that's so Evil Cat. Evil Cat must be breathing a little
Let's
sigh
give
of
him a
relief.
lot of breathing room now,
Yeah.
because he's got a 4-second lead. He just needs to look after those tyres and he might be alright. Yeah.
Jump on board Dan as he comes around this right-hander. Sitting on the outside and again just pushing himself a little bit too hard there. And it's a nasty one where he's
Sharky
trying
up
his
to
best.
5th now, and with fastest lap, so he did come through.
Dan I'm watching Dan trying to get back on track. It hurts so much. No, it's all good. Apologies. No, it hurts so much to watch. I don't know if I can do it anymore. Switch that one off.
Yeah, because the tyre temperature goes down.
Yeah.
The one thing about the Gran Turismo 7 is it's much more realistic with the physics in the way that the tyres get cooler when you go off. So you have a horrible moment, you go off the track and you rejoin, and you'll find the next corner, you're twice as likely to go off because the tyres aren't up to temperature again, which is very realistic. But it sucks.
So I think we're relatively outside of big mistakes, which this, like you said,
Sharky's just been...
oh my god, I was about to say outside of big mistakes, I think this race is starting to settle, but then we have a big mistake. Oh, poor Shark. Let's have a little jump back and see what happened there to Sharks.
There's a 3-way scrap over third going on as well.
Wow, where does this race keep going? It's a Shark there, just catches himself going around the outside, DJ looking up on the inside, and he just catches his rear right on the sand, sends him spinning off into the left hand side, and obviously just trying to take some time to recover, so lost himself a good 4 seconds there or so. It's a shame. So you did say there was a scrap for third?
Yes, mate. It was, but that's kind of dissolved.
Very quickly.
It's changing so quickly.
Yeah.
People are making mistakes of gaining and losing that half a lap later, something that was something isn't anything anymore. And someone that had got away from you, suddenly you've got past them. It's even now with 3 laps to go. What, got 3? Yeah, 4 laps to go. It's anyone in the top 4 or 5 can still win this.
Yeah, absolutely. So on board at the moment with DJ.
They seem relatively spaced out, but one mistake.
That's what I mean. I'm sitting there
It's
thinking,
so costly.
if I was DJ, I'd be quite comfortable now. I've got a 4-second gap either side, but like you say, one little kind of mess up through a corner. So I'd be trying to play relatively safe now. I'd just be doing a kind of like banker laps, you know?
Yeah, bring it home.
Yeah, just bring it home. Especially if I was either Frowning or like Evil Cat, where again, Evil Cat's nurturing a 4-second gap with the same with Frowning. Outside of a major spin, you can afford to lose half a second of pace a lap just to be safe, you know?
That's a real underdog podium we're lined up to have.
Yeah,
as it
man.
stands.
Yeah,
Which I love.
definitely.
I feel like that's very fitting. That's great. We chucked on a wild card track, and the underdogs are showing
Put up some
their
wild
true
card
worth tonight.
results.
Yeah, I have a feeling like there's some boys that feel like they're due a result that have really put in the practice for this, and that's what's starting to pay off for them.
Yeah.
KTN's tyre's gone.
Yeah, so
3 laps to go.
So
That's gonna hurt.
Kieran's got no tyre as well on his front left. So he's obviously pulled it together in terms of strategy run. Yeah, these mediums haven't lasted Kevin. He's going to struggle to hold off DJ. And Shark again. I mean, it's 4-5 seconds from Shark. I think it's probably about a 2-second difference a lap. So maybe losing out to Shark. So, but even Kev to finish in 6th in this race of kind of melee and chaos, to just do a consistent kind of steady kind of one stop and finish in the mid pack, I'd be pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, I mean the first platinum driver's down in 6th. Other than that, it's I mean DJ always delivers. That's a guy that just rocks up and is on the pace.
Yeah,
but
I kind of hate him
you
for
have
that.
to go back as far as 5th.
I have to practice
before
ridiculously in order to race well. And he just turns up and normally he's pretty consistent. It's really
he's a beast, mate.
Yeah. So yeah, Kev really
I
strong those
Evil
tyres.
Cat's tyres look fantastic. So all he needs to do is just keep his head, and he's got this. 5-second lead almost.
That's what I mean. I'd even I'd be sacrificing a little pace just to bring it home. You know, just like screw this, I'm going to set off a little
It's
bit.
done the hard bit.
This is a challenge though. It depends. I mean, Evil Cat I'm pretty certain isn't, but it depends if you're in VR or not. Because when you're in VR, you have no idea how big that gap is behind you. So you just like, you know, keep going.
He'll
keep
be
going,
on the
keep
good old
going.
look in his mirrors down that main straight. The track's very twisty, but you do get that dead straight main straight where you can actually see, okay, right, he's a good measure behind me, so I can relax.
I think the only main battle we've got in a minute is Deej and Kev, which is about to be resolved with Deej making that move up now, the left hand side of Kev. And Kev not giving it up the Ghost yet. And obviously sitting on those dead mediums, it's going to be a hard ask to hold that for the next a lap and a half of race. So
Yeah, I think Clark is going to get him as well.
you think so?
Yeah.
Let's watch that unfold and see if that comes true, which I'm sure it will.
That's probably the main battle.
But I think that's outside of many major spins. I think that's the only other change in position we're going to see.
It's not like we've been starved of action though, Christ.
Action-packed race.
Great.
Some brilliant night driving as well, and some awful driving. But
Yeah. I can't believe there was three wide into that left-hander.
Yeah.
Astonishing.
And no one really died massive. I mean, there's a few little
No.
nicks and like kisses here and there, but no real horrible like disgustingness.
Can Sharky do it? Look, 1 lap to go.
Yeah.
Got it to under a second, so he's going to get the drag now down that back side of the main straight. How much of an advantage would that be going into the last lap?
What's going on?
If he can get right on his bumper, it is for the
his
taking.
end of the
But
lap.
his softs are pretty looking. I mean, he's only got 10% left on his front, left on his softs. Good advantage down the straight.
Yeah, I don't think Kev's going to hold this. Is he?
Be a hell of a defensive drive.
Yeah.
It'll be a strong defensive lap if he holds this.
Give us a little watch, see, but I'm also acutely aware of how good Evil Cat is due and watching over
Someone's
the line.
just binned it on the last corner.
Oh no.
Sharky's got him. Okay, so Sharky was up to 5th.
Right, Sharky. So we'll jump on board with Evil Cat now, give him his his due, as he hopefully brings it home for himself. With a 4.5 second lead on Frowney, best lap time of the night, looks like a 1:18.2, so definitely competitive, but you know, there's definitely a good like pace runner, but with the way tonight's gone, I think like you said, anyone could have won this with how it's unfolded and how the packs have worked out and people trying to find track position, and it's been a tough one.
If you just look at the last lap, you think it was quite a spread out kind of boring race, but it's anything
Evil
but.
Cat comes over the line with some flashes. Congratulations for winning that. Well done, buddy.
Yeah, amazing win. Well done,
man,
Nick.
that is a great run. So Frowney now coming over the line to secure his second place.
He'll be
Good one
chuffed.
for him. Saito as well, third, which considering he had a fairly bad moment at one point, to get that is really respectful. Deej,
Yeah.
good run from him, consistent, you know, just afforded himself to take advantage of all the other mistakes people have made. Shark and Kev coming over the line. Kev again, a really good outcome there, considering, you know, with the one stop, which probably didn't look like the favourite strategy on the night if you add up everything that went wrong. You know,
That must have been a long slog.
Yeah.
When those tyres go, it's just so difficult. So he did well to make the one stop.
Dan and KW coming over the line. I imagine they're slightly disappointed.
Yeah, Dan wanted that win, didn't he? I think maybe Evil Cat was just too off in the distance to realistically catch. But hey, 0 or 0, right? Give it a go.
Taft secures.
Dan would have been pushing for that win.
Taft scores just P9, and finally we've got Hudson rolling over the line with P10. And Edinburgh Lad looks like he's paused himself out of pure frustration, which is understandable.
In there. Yep, in there.
We've all been there, so we'll watch him flash his hazards over the line. Well, what a race, eh? What a
awesome.
great race for what a great occasion, you know?
Yeah, it's worked out brilliantly. That was an awesome race. I really enjoyed that. It was so easy to commentate on because it just had everything going on all the time.
So we'll let Edinburgh Lad slowly roll his arse over the line, and then we can pop up the results proper and do him a bit of justice and wrap this up.
Yeah. Oh, well, at least we had a good race to show Nick's family.
Yeah, definitely. Man.
This is what we do, guys. This is how it is. This is what he was involved with. Speaking personally, I had some amazing battles with Nick in races like this over the last couple of years. So, yeah, this is what he used to do with us. And like Garby said earlier, we're just about 2 minutes having a laugh. But when you're in the moment, when you're having those close battles, it's invigorating and it's awesome.
It's and people take it very seriously, which It's
Yeah.
both a blessing and a curse, right?
Yeah.
You know, like we spend all this money on our rigs and our wheels and stuff, and I feel like I get value out of it, considering how many hours you then eventually get out of that if you throw yourself into it.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, you know, like it's a real corner of kind of video gaming that is its own little kind of niche, and I think once you get pulled in, it's hard to pull yourself out of it. You know, that's something I found.
Yeah.
And I assume that's what got caught by Nick, and it does. You know, it attracts two sorts of people. It attracts people that are really into games. That's the corner I come from. I'm not really into motorsport and into, you know, kind of racing, but I come at it from that point of view. But also know it attracts a lot of people from kind of motorsport who then want to get into sort of like a simulation of it. So it kind of these two kind of mixing pots of different sorts of people coming from different directions, all kind of are coming together and try and have a good time. And I think the reason why places like ZFS come up and stuff like that is the nature of trying to do this is you kind of need to do it with people that you trust.
Yes.
Because if you don't, it ends up not being very fun when it turns into kind of Mario Kart, everyone just kind of smashing into each other. But if you can come and do it and you know, with people that are at least trying to do the right thing, and that's how these communities form and how kind of friendships come up out of it, and I suppose that's what kind of Nick threw himself into with all the other communities he was part of as well, and why people are drawn to it. So, you know, it was a pleasure having part of it.
I didn't realise how much other racing he did. He was involved in a few other racing things, wasn't he?
He cheated on us with a lot of people. You know, I feel like. No.
At least he got good bang for his buck.
This is it, man. Well, this is it. Like, you pay a lot of money for this gear, you might as well try and enjoy it the most you can, and certainly I can see from what I saw, and that Nick certainly did. You know, that's the
he likes us best.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, that's what it's about.
Favourites. We'll just say that.
Yeah. Well, so you know the results are fairly inconsequential for tonight. It was not really about what the result is. It was more about what the occasion was. But we can still confirm that our winner tonight was Evil Cat, and Franny was in second place, with Saitam in third, DJ fourth, Sharky or Garrett Clark in fifth, KJN in sixth, Amsterdam in seventh, Kieran in eighth. Let me just flick over the screen if I can remember how to. Crazy Staff in ninth, Hudson in 10th, and Edinburgh Lad in 11th. I'm worried my screen's just frozen now because it just made a weird noise, which normally means it's frozen. But I'm not going to fix it because we're at the stream anyway. So I'm going to jump on to the weight page and do the little wind down for everybody. So I just want to thank everyone who's helped put together tonight. I know there's been a few people involved doing bits and pieces in terms of collecting the footage for Nick's little kind of montage. Anyone who's put any kind of money into the fundraising effort, it's been super appreciated. I know obviously it's hard times at times, and even just a few quid is a bit of an ask, but if you've got that and if you put that in, then thank you so much. Obviously, you know, I hate to feel like I've said it 100 times, but just a massive kind of reach out to Nick and to Nick's family and his friends and stuff, and obviously just say that we're all kind of thinking of you, and obviously that we're all kind of it's really hard to say because I don't want to use the word grieving alongside with you, because like I said, it's weird as a collection of online kind of morons to try and sort of have that, but at the same time, obviously he was a part of our life, and we just want you guys to know that obviously he was important to us. So
he was. He's missed a lot. His loss was felt very deeply throughout the ZFS community. I came on chat the day after we found out what happened, and we were all kind of shell shocked from it. So
it's crap, man. It's crap. But you know what? Let's just be grateful for the time that you spent with us. You know, I think that's
Absolutely.
what it's all about. That actually,
and hopefully this race was a celebration of you know the good times and the good things that, and how we were involved in his life.
And also a mild apology to the fact we never raced Willow Springs for him. He asked us so many times.
He was right. He was right, and we were wrong.
Yeah, right. We'll put our hands up and said we should have listened to Nick and done a fewer races at Willow Springs. So perhaps that's something we can learn, is that we can run a few more in his memory as we go on. But that is it from us. Thank you so much everyone for joining us. I want to thank everyone in chat. I'm sorry that I haven't been able to keep up with it. It's quite hard to keep up with the race and keep up with chat at the same time. Schmergen, I want to thank you so much. You've been an absolute hero. Thank you for coming on and being part of this. And thank you as well, anyone who's watched and anyone who's been part of it. And we don't really stream that often, so it's hard to say catch us on the next one, but obviously you'll see us in Discord and stuff, so we'll catch you around. Thank you so much.
Cheers guys.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye.